Good day, everyone. So for today, we will be presenting about one of the causative agents of hepatitis. For your information, hepatitis can be caused by different viruses such as hepatitis A, B, C, D, and E. But in this research, we will be focusing on hepatitis B virus. I am Maria Joris R. Pacheco, and I'm with my co-researchers Jessamine Sinlao, Maria Cristina Soriano, Micaela Bactad, Queenie Jamil Mondero, Andrea Sabangan, Micaela Adriana Lumibaw, Cristel May Babagay, Pauline Diaz, and Faye Nicole Aquino. We are the third-year students of Bachelor of Medical Laboratory Science, and also here with us is our advisor, Mr. Romeo A. Katungal Jr. Our cover photo is solely based on our title, The Hepatitis B Virus Silent Walking Giant. Silent because majority of the people infected with the virus shows no symptoms. As you can see on the picture, the people are just walking casually on the streets without seeing the big threat behind them. Walking because HBV infected individuals are just everywhere, and also little do we know that some people we've met are already infected with the virus. And based on the picture, we made the hepatitis B virus as a giant creature because giant symbolizes a threat to human being. And that is what hepatitis B virus do. It is a threat to our health because it can cause serious diseases like cirrhosis and liver cancer, which is one of the leading causes of death worldwide. So first of all, we conducted this research synthesis because according to the World Health Organization, as of 2015, there are already 257 million recorded cases of chronic hepatitis B infection, and only 27 million of them are aware of their infection. And in the Philippines, Department of Health recorded around 8.5 million Filipinos having chronic hepatitis B infection. With this, the virus had already took many lives not just in the Philippines but also in the whole world. And despite the high number of cases, education and awareness is still lacking and hepatitis B is continuously being neglected. So next, this research study aimed to provide health education and to create awareness regarding the hepatitis B virus. Specifically, this research synthesis was conducted to find out the viral characteristics, modes of transmission and its misconceptions, the preventive measures, the medical laboratory findings seen in patients in terms of immunological, hematological, hemostatic, and biochemical standpoints. It also aimed to know the treatments available for hepatitis B virus. Let's move on to the research design. We made use of explanatory research because explanatory research is comprised by a set of concepts that guides us to look for the facts and expand our familiarity in unknown areas of hepatitis B virus. It seeks to answer the questions why and how, and also looks for the causes and reasons. And this design provides proof to support or disprove an explanation or prediction to a phenomenon regarding hepatitis B virus. And last, it is used to discover and report some relationships among different aspects of hepatitis B virus. Next, for the data gathering procedures, we have followed certain steps in the data collection. First, we defined the research problem about hepatitis B virus, which was mentioned in the statement of the problem. We prepared the instruments that we will be using. We made use of books, primarily books recommended by CHED, PASMET, and PAMET, and also journals, reports, and articles by credible sources such as World Health Organization, Department of Health, and other organizational sites. Third, we collected data relevant to hepatitis B virus, including statistical findings for the epidemiology and information from different sources. Fourth, we did the prior reading. Fifth, we did a selective filtration where we chose only the information that is acceptable and valid. For this part, we made sure that all the sources are reliable by checking if the author is knowledgeable in this particular field, and we only use works published from 2016 to 2021. With this step, we only have cited 52 sources out of 143. 6. We organize the data by transcribing and arranging the data systematically. 7th, we analyze the relationships of the data. 8, we interpreted the collected data which serve as the answer to the research problem. And the last step is synthesize, where we combine all the interpreted data to create an information. The next parts will be discussed by Jessamine Sinlao.
Let's now proceed with the characteristics of hepatitis B virus. This virus is pleomorphic. Pleomorphic meaning it can assume several shapes or it does not have a definite shape. It is an envelope virus. Its envelope characteristics makes the virus susceptible to drying and destruction when exposed to environmental changes. It has a partially double-stranded DNA genome where one of the strands is incomplete and the other strand is complete. The complete strand contains all the genetic information for producing both hepatitis B surface antigen and hepatitis B core antigen. Its hepatitis B surface antigen is an important marker for immunization, while hepatitis B core antigen, from the word itself, is responsible for the formation of the core of the complete virus. Lastly, its hepatitis B related antigen component is an important marker for transmissibility. Moving on, how does hepatitis B virus can be transmitted from one person to another? According to Billions Cuts by Patricia Telia in the year 2017, humans are the only source of hepatitis B virus. It is transmitted when a hepatitis B virus infected blood enters the body of someone who is not infected. The most common route of transmission is through perinatal transmission or from mother to child during birth. Other modes of transmission is through direct exposure with contaminated seminal fluids, menstrual discharge, vaginal discharge, and through saliva. It can also be passed through sexual intercourse from heterosexual and to male homosexual, through percutaneous injections such as needle stick injury, also through blood transfusion, and in medical or other surgical procedures. Moreover, even through sharing of personal objects like razors or toothbrushes that is contaminated with infected blood can be a means of transmitting the virus. As you can see in the image below, it can also be passed through skin lesions like eczema and impetigo between siblings and other household contacts. So next, let me now debunk and correct the circulating misconceptions about the transmission of hepatitis B virus. First, is it true that people living with hepatitis cannot continue having sex? The answer is no, because hepatitis B virus transmission through sexual intercourse can be prevented with vaccinations and safe sex practices like using barrier protective measures such as condoms. How about the concept that hepatitis is a genetic or hereditary disease? Hepatitis is not a hereditary disease. Let us not be confused with this because hepatitis B is transmitted from mother to child during birth, in which the infant's mucous membrane is exposed to the mother's infected blood on the birth canal during delivery. Next, can hepatitis B virus be transmitted through casual contacts like kissing, handshakes, or through sharing of meals, water, bowls, or utensils with someone who has the disease? The answer is no, because it can be only transmitted through an intimate basis like sharing infected bodily fluids during an unprotected sex or contact with infected blood. Lastly, can mosquito bites or any insect bites transmit hepatitis B virus? Hepatitis B virus is not transmitted through any insect bites because humans are the only source or vector of the hepatitis B. Moving on, we have several preventive measures in order to avoid contracting hepatitis B virus. First is we have the vaccination or immunization, which is one of the most effective preventive measures. In the Philippines, we have the Republic Act number 10152, otherwise known as the Mandatory Infants and Children Health Immunization Act of 2011, which mandates the basic immunization for all infants and children against the preventable diseases, and one of these is hepatitis B. Next is by using protective barriers such as condoms during sexual intercourse. And also, screening of blood donors and the blood donated before any blood transfusion prevents the transfusion of acquired hepatitis B. With this, the chance of contracting the virus through blood transfusion was reduced to at least 50%. Sharing of personal things like razors, nail clippers, and toothbrushes must be avoided to prevent acquiring hepatitis B virus infected blood. And lastly, sharing and reusing of needles during body tattoos, acupuncture, and body or ear piercings must be avoided to prevent the transmission of the virus percutaneously or parenterally. The next part will be discussed by Queenie Mondero.
So let's now proceed to the laboratory findings on patient with hepatitis B virus infection. So the first one, let's see the immunological standpoint. As you can see in the screen, hepatitis B virus is gradually eliminated from the body as the immune response is activated, and most patients become non-infectious. The immune response of infected individual is the basis to determine the result of hepatitis B virus infection, whether it is acute or chronic infection. Fighting off the viral infection involves the innate and adaptive response of the immune system. In acute hepatitis B virus infection, the first antibody to appear is antibody to hepatitis B core antigen, or the anti-HBC. The most infectious period in acute infection is when hepatitis B-related antigen is detected. The chronic hepatitis B virus is not directly cytopathic, and the hepatocellular necrosis result from the host immune response to the viral antigens of the replicating virus present in infected hepatocyte. In patients with chronic hepatitis B virus infection, hepatitis B surface antigen remains detectable for more than 6 months. The next one is hematological standpoint. Patients infected with hepatitis B virus are likely to develop aplastic anemia. The clinical features of aplastic anemia include decreased marrow cellularity, wherein the bone marrow stops producing enough blood cells. That can lead to pancytopenia, in which decreased numbers of circulating red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets. Aplastic anemia can also cause reticulocytopenia, or the abnormal decrease of reticulocyte. Note to consider that eosinophilia and neutropenia are likely to occur in hepatitis B virus infected patients. Let's go to the next slide, the hemostatic standpoint. In the previous study, liver disease is considered as a bleeding disorder. But recently, it was discovered that complex hemostatic changes are neutral to patients with both chronic and acute liver disease. It was due to a simultaneous decline in prohemostatic and anti-hemostatic factors. This is result in a rebalanced hemostatic system. Even so, the stability of rebalanced hemostasis in patients with liver disease is more fragile than those observed in healthy individuals. And the last laboratory findings is the biochemical standpoint. When an individual is infected with hepatitis B virus, the levels of alanine aminotransferase, aspartate aminotransferase, alkaline phosphatase, and gamma-glutamyl transpeptidase are intended to increase. The liver function tests, including the total and direct serum bilirubin and albumin, are also helpful in assessing the evaluation of infection. In patients with chronic condition, serum amylase and alpha-fetoprotein may also elevate above normal. And due to the damaged liver, elevation of indirect serum bilirubin and lactate dehydrogenase may also increase. And the next presenter is Michaela Bagpat.
So let's proceed to the laboratory methods used to diagnose hepatitis B virus infections. Blood is the specimen of choice, mainly the plasma or serum component. And here are the following tests of hepatitis B serum. First is the HBsAg. It is the most reliable marker for identifying HBV infection. Next is the HBeAg. It is a serum marker of active viral replication. Next is the anti-HBC. It is an indicator of a recent hepatitis B infection. And next is the anti-HBC IgM. It is a determinant of acute hepatitis B. Then the development of anti-HBe in a case of acute hepatitis is the first serologic evidence of the convalescent phase. Next is the anti-HBs. It is a serologic marker of recovery and immunity. And next is the hepatitis B viral DNA. The current tests for the assessment of HBV infections are the qualitative and quantitative measures of HBV DNA by molecular methods. And next is the interpretation of hepatitis B panel. So if the tests are HBsAg negative, anti-HBC negative, and anti-HBs negative, then the patient is probably susceptible to hepatitis B. If the tests are HBsAg negative, anti-HBC positive and anti-HBs positive, the patient is probably immune due to natural infection. If the test is HBsAg negative, the patient is immune because of the vaccination. If the test is anti-HBs positive, then the patient is acutely infected. If the tests are HBsAg positive, anti-HBC positive, and anti-HBC IgM negative, and anti-HBs negative, the patient is probably chronically infected. If the tests are HBsAg negative, anti-HBC positive, anti-HBs negative, the interpretation is unclear, but there are still four possibilities. Number 1, resolved infection, which is the most common. Number 2, false positive anti-HBC, the susceptible. Number 3, low-level chronic infection. And number 4, resolving acute infection. Here, the treatment of hepatitis B virus. There are 7 drugs have been licensed in the United States for the treatment of HBV infection. The lamivudine, adefovir, entecavir, telbivudine, tenofovir, peginterferon alpha, and interferon alpha. So here the research synthesis. First, HBV can assume several shapes. It has an envelope called Dane particle, which is responsible for its entry into the person's cell and makes the HBV sensitive that once it gets exposed to environmental changes, it dies. Second, hepatitis B virus is transmitted through perinatal transmission, unprotected sex, cuts, or accidental needle prick or other sharp objects contaminated with an infected person's blood, organ transplantation, or other surgical procedures and blood transfusion. Third, hepatitis B virus is not transmitted through casual contacts nor the mosquito and other insects. Also, the infection is not hereditary, but an infected mother can pass it to her child. And HBV-infected individuals can still have sexual intercourse as long as vaccination is taken and safe sex practices is observed. Fourth, to prevent the transmission of the virus, vaccination, not having multiple sexual partners, and observing safe sex practices are of big help. Sharing sharp items like needles and lancets should never be done. New and sterile needles must be used in performing air body piercing, tattoos, and acupunctures. Donor and blood unit screening and testing must be strictly done before blood transfusion. For women, sanitary napkins should be disposed into plastic bags, and blood spills in the healthcare setting should be cleaned up with a fresh diluted bleach solution. More importantly, hand washing after any potential exposure to blood and other bodily fluids is also an undisputed method to prevent contracting the virus. Fifth, here are the following laboratory findings seen in hepatitis B virus patients. The immunological standpoint. The body activates its immune response to eliminate the virus and the patients will become non-infectious. And anti-HBs is the main productive antibody from hepatitis B virus, and it indicates immune status. Then the hematological standpoint. HBV patients have increased number of eosinophils and decreased number of neutrophils. And infected individuals can possess aplastic anemia, which results into decreased red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets, and reticulocytes. Next is the hemostatic standpoint. Both chronic and acute liver diseases are considered to be in a state of rebalanced hemostasis and not a bleeding disorder nor clotting disorder. And biochemical standpoint, patients with chronic conditions such as cirrhosis have increased level of serum amylase, but amylase in the urine is within normal range. There is an increased level of bilirubin and alkaline phosphatase. A mild increase in lactate dehydrogenase is also seen. 6. The available therapeutic treatments for hepatitis B virus are lamivudine, adefovir dipiroxyl, entecavir, telbivudine, tenofovir disoproxil, tenofovir alafenamide, peginterferon alpha, and interferon alpha. Also, liver transplantation and transfusion medicines are used to treat conditions caused by hepatitis B virus such as liver disease. And lastly, these are the recommendations of the researchers. First, conduct seminars or webinars to raise the awareness of everyone about the transmission of infection caused by hepatitis B virus. Second, know and identify the other viruses causing hepatitis, including hepatitis A, C, D, and T. Third, follow the Republic Act 10152, also known as Mandatory Infants and Children Health Immunization Act of 2011. Fourth, observe other preventive measures such as using protective barrier device during sexual intercourse such as condom. Observe monogamy, avoiding sharing of personal items such as toothbrush or razors, and safe handling of needles and other sharps. Fifth, encourage people to have early diagnostic screening tests, most especially to those persons who are at great risk of exposure and acquiring HPV, in order for them to have their vaccination to prevent and stop the increasing rate of infection and death. And lastly, number 6, consult physician to get a proper prescription and to avoid any complications that may occur. Thank you and God bless.